Today we're talking about 10 Christmas gift ideas under $100 for that special caffeinated loved one. Okie dokie. I'm very excited about this one. How's it going? If you're new to the channel, my name is Jared. I'm a photographer and filmmaker from Louisiana. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I really hope you enjoy the video. If you're not new to the channel, then it is nothing new to you that I love coffee. Everything about it. The geeky stuff, the nerdy stuff, the weird stuff, the fun stuff, the tasty and the strong, and just everything. I'm a big coffee guy. So several weeks ago, my wife and my mom both started asking me, what did I want for Christmas? Now this is a struggle for me every single year. I have a really hard time of thinking of things that I want for Christmas because most of the things I can think of are way out of the budget. So I figured I would share with you, the audience, a list of 10 things that are under $100 that you could either ask for Christmas or maybe get for somebody for Christmas. Maybe if you know somebody who's really into coffee and you just want to get them something but you don't want to break the bank doing it, here is a list of 10 things that are great. They're not your it's not your typical, get them a bag of coffee. Although bags of coffee are, that's a good suggestion. I'm trying really hard with this video to think of things outside of the box that most people don't think of. It's just kind of, I spent a little while on this list, so just go with me. Okie dokie, first things first, bar spoons. A bar spoon is typically used by a bartender, hence the term bar spoon. It's just a big fat spoon with a long, somewhat swirly shaft, and then this little knob on the end. Now this is incredibly useful, especially if you like making iced drinks at home. Because of its length, it makes it to where you can get to the bottom of any glass or cup. They're pretty aesthetic, they look pretty cool. I got a set of 2 bar spoons in this kind of dark metallic gray on Amazon for $11. Next up, the Bellman steamer. Basically, it is a stove top steaming apparatus. You fill it up with water, you screw the top on, it creates pressure, and then steam comes out of, well, it's out of steam. Oops. Thumbs up for the most anticlimactic thing that could have happened just then. Basically, you use this little guy to steam milk at home. This keeps you from having to buy an espresso machine if you just want to steam milk. This is the little guy to get. Now, total transparency, that is a loaner unit. It does not belong to me. I borrowed it from a friend of mine to make the Bellman video and this video with, but I went online to find out just how much they cost, and I found varying prices, anywhere from $89 to $144. Next up, if you are going to get the Bellman steamer, you're gonna need something to steam your milk in. Steaming pitchers are a fantastic Christmas item. They're also relatively inexpensive. The 300 milliliter Amazon Basics steaming pitcher comes in at a whopping $13. So now for the $1 million question, why would you have a stovetop steaming apparatus if you can't make espresso at home to make lattes with? Enter the Fellow Prisma. So this little apparatus fits on the bottom of an AeroPress. It has a mesh side and then it has a little hole right here. So the whole purpose behind the Fellow Prisma is just to create friction and pressure whenever you're using your AeroPress to get a more concentrated coffee like espresso. You're not going to get like exactly espresso. I mean, you're not going to get the crema and all that fun stuff, but it's definitely close enough. Also, the Bellman video that I mentioned earlier, I'll link that down in the description because I also give a more in-depth description of this and why this is such a useful tool, especially if you want to make cappuccinos and lattes at home without an espresso machine. The Prismo comes in at a whopping $25. And again, it's really simple. It fits right onto an AeroPress, just like that. Which brings me to our next item, which is an AeroPress. Now, if you're a big coffee person, chances are you already own one of these, but if you don't, or you know somebody who doesn't own one of these, this is a great investment. I purchased my AeroPress about October of last year. Kaylee and I were going on a trip. We were gonna be staying about a week, maybe 9 days in an Airbnb that did not have any way for me to make coffee. So I took 30 smackers, went to my local coffee shop and picked one up. It's really simple to use. It's got a plunger. You put the coffee and the water down in there, you put the plunger on top, and then you plunge it down. Like I mentioned a moment ago, it is $30. You can find them at local coffee shops, or you can just go on Amazon and order it there. Next up, and this might kind of seem like a stupid one, but trust me, this is one of my favorite gifts to get, and I get one pretty much every year. a coffee cup. Now, it can be something as simple as this, just a standard coffee cup. This is one of my favorite coffee cups that my brother got for me a couple years ago. It's just a John Wayne coffee cup. On the other side, it says, "Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you." Again, just like, it's kind of cool. It's a really simple idea. I think this cost my brother like $5, but this is my favorite coffee cup. Now, let's say you've got a friend who likes to make more specialty style drinks. Let's say they've got a Bellman and they've got a Prismo and an AirPress and they like to do lattes and cappuccinos. Then get them something a little closer to this. This is the Fellow Monty Milk Art Cup. They have this in various sizes, but the whole gist of this cup is the bottom is shaped in such a way that it's really easy for you to pour lattes and cappuccinos and do, you know, latte art and all that fun stuff in it. This little guy was 20 bucks. Just ask or do a little bit of research, but a coffee cup is a great gift. Don't underestimate a coffee cup. Okay, every home barista needs a coffee grinder, period, full stop. If you would like my recommendation on the very best coffee grinder you can purchase, I'll link it up in this corner. But that grinder definitely does not fall under $100, nor does pretty much any other decent coffee grinder. So at that point, I would recommend something like this. This is a hand grinder. The way it works, you put your coffee beans down in there, pop the little lid on, pop the little handle on, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Now, this is a better option than a blade grinder. A blade grinder typically works like a blender. You've got a container and down in the bottom of it, it's got a little blade that spins around, but it's nearly impossible to get a precise grind with a blade grinder. You have to eyeball it and like press the button, and it's just kind of a mess. A little hand grinder like this actually has burrs inside of it that you can dial in to make it more fine or more coarse. Just put it together, put your coffee in, Bob's your uncle. I think I already said that. Did I already say Bob's your uncle? Fred's your uncle. Next up is a stovetop kettle. Now, this is actually not a stovetop kettle. This is an electric kettle. It sits on a little base and it heats it up and it keeps it hot and all that fun stuff. I'm using this as a point of reference because I actually don't have a stovetop kettle in the apartment. I used to own one and then eventually I upgraded to an electric kettle. Here we are. But a stovetop kettle is something that every home barista should own. My very first one that I got, I picked it up at Walmart and it was $5. Now, you may not get as lucky as I did, go to Walmart and find a stovetop kettle for $5. Go on Amazon, get the Hario branded stovetop gooseneck kettle for $46. Every home barista should have a gooseneck kettle. Okay, next up on my list, a Chemex. Now again, this is probably one of those things that if you enjoy coffee and you make a lot of coffee at home, especially specialty style coffee, you probably already own one of these. But let's say you know somebody who wants to get into coffee and they don't own one of these. This is a fantastic option. Believe it or not, this is actually my fourth Chemex. I broke one of them. I still own 3, including this one. But this particular Chemex was a Christmas gift from my parents last year. I asked them for it. $46. Now, this is the glass handled version. They do make the wood handled version. I'm sure you've seen those. It looks like this. Chemexes vary in price based on whether or not you get the wood handle or the glass handle, and also in sizes. They have a 4 cup, a 6 cup, an 8 cup, and a 10 cup. This is the 10 cup. I'm not entirely sure how much this one costs because I didn't look it up beforehand. But the glass handle that I was just holding, it is an 8 cup and it is $46 on Amazon. Pro tip, if you get that, you need to make sure that you get a box of filters as well. I believe they're like $10 for 100 filters. Don't forget those, or your coffee person that you love is gonna be kind of upset because they're not gonna get to use their Chemex just yet. All right, last but definitely not least, you need a scale. A coffee scale is the perfect way to make sure you get your ratios right every single time. It's a great way to weigh your coffee, weigh your water, weigh the actual brew that you're doing, whatever. This little guy, I think, cost me $20 at Bed Bath & Beyond, but you can find them on Amazon for $16. All right, that's it. That's my list. 10 things under $100 that the coffee caffeinated person that you love needs to have for Christmas this year. I will link everything in this video down below if you would like to go purchase one of those things. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are fantastic, every single one of you. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, all of those fun things, and I will plan to see you guys in the next video. I'll see you there. Bye.